Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Email Resolutions for 2011. I'm Jill Bastian, and with me today is Megan Buell, and we're going to go through some things that you can do with your emails this year to bring them up to date. We have, as you can see on our screen, a hashtag for our webinars, for all VR webinars. So if you want to follow along on Twitter, just include that hashtag with your posts. Just a couple of things before we get started. As usual with our webinars, we will do a Q&A at the end. So if you think of questions along the way, feel free to enter those into the question box on your GoToWebinar window. The number one question we get for all of our webinars or demos is this being recorded? And the answer is yes, we are recording this. So later on this afternoon, you'll be able to access that on our recorded webinars page on our help site. We'll also send out a follow-up email, which will have a link that goes to that page as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So this is what we're going to go over today. Tips to take your email marketing into 2011, including social media with your email marketing. Some examples that we found to help inspire you to make some changes with your marketing. Some resources slides. We have quite a few resources for you today to help get you started. And then, as I said, we're also going to do a Q&A.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Megan, and first we're going to go over pre-header text. Some of you may be using this already, some of you may not. It's kind of a newer phenomenon in the email marketing world, and you'll probably see this more and more on emails that you get or you receive in your inbox on a daily basis. So the pre-header text is a supplemental text just after the subject line in the inbox. It's going to be the first row of text that is in your email. So it will show up right after your subject line if there's still room after your subject line for any text to show up. Often in my Gmail box, I always see the pre-header text because the space for a subject line is so long in a Gmail inbox, depending on how you have your inbox set up. So it's going to be the first line of text in the email. This pre-header text should complement your subject line if possible. If you have a 20% off sale going on for certain items and there's a promo code, maybe your subject line says 20% off for a short period of time or whatever, and then your pre-header should maybe give the promo code that your recipient needs to use in order to receive the 20% off. You'll see this quite often, and we'll have an example of this coming up. Also, a great use for your pre-header text is to link it to another landing page outside of your email. Maybe it's a landing page that is promoting a certain product launch that you have coming out, and it makes it really easy for your reader to get to that landing page right off the bat. You can also lead your reader down to another specific article within your newsletter or your email by anchor linking your pre-header text. So just like you would anchor link your table of contents or something else within your email, you can do the same exact thing with your pre-header text. Yeah, and let's see. Let's check out this next. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had another example. I think that one's coming up.
Another thing to keep in mind for your emails is including links in your email. A lot of times people will include one link in their email campaign, and that's fine, but you want to give your recipients lots of opportunities to get to your website. You want them to go there and continue reading an article or sign up for an event that you're hosting or make a purchase, right? So you want to give them lots of opportunity to get to your website. You want to give them more links than just one somewhere at the bottom of your email. You also can include links and make your email more social by including a link to post your article or email on Twitter or Facebook. You can also continue the conversation on your social media platforms in this manner as well. So you could continue to you could drive your email recipients to your Facebook page to have a conversation about whatever you've posted, because they can easily interact on Facebook with each other as well as with you. Or on Twitter. Here at Vertical Response, we frequently do Twitter chats where we'll have a specific hashtag, and then we invite people to come and participate on Twitter in a specific conversation about email marketing. So it's an easy way to also get your email recipients participating with you on your social media platforms. One of my favorite examples for linking and making sure you include a link in your email is I get a breaking news email from, I'm not going to say the website because we'll protect the innocent or the guilty, however you want to look at that. But it's a major news site, and of course, if you're sending out something that's really important, like important news things that are happening, you want to include a link so that people can go and see what's going on. This news company does not include a link to their website. They have a link to an advertiser's website. They have an unsubscribe link. But if I want to go and read about that story, I have to pull up a browser window separately and type in their URL, which isn't long, but I still have to do that to get to their website. I get another breaking news email from the Denver Post because I'm from Colorado, so I have to know what's going on there. And it's usually Broncos news, which is important. But they include a link to the story. They include a link to their homepage. They include links to a couple other pages on their website, all in just a small space in this breaking news email. So you just want to make sure that you're thinking about how your recipients are going to handle your email, and make sure you give them the option when they need it to get to your site.
Yeah, so a little bit more about links and call to action buttons. You definitely want to include call to action buttons in your emails and link them. Make sure that they link to where you are telling your reader where it's going to go. So simply put, tell your reader what you want them to do within your call to action button. If you want them to register for a webinar, register today. If you want them to download a white paper or a guide, download today. If you want them to buy something, or look at, read more about something, it can be very simple, quick, and easy. Just tell them exactly what you want them to do. Of course, we all don't have graphic designers for our email marketing, but there is such a thing called performable.com/buttons, which is an amazing website, and I use it for all our buttons that we send or that we use in our emails. And here you can just go to this website and type what you want the button to say. You can pick your color and your style, and you just take a screenshot of it, and boom, you have a button there, quick and easy. So this email here has a great example of just a quick call to action button, shop and save 15%. Very simple. Tells the reader what they're going to do when they click on this button, and that they can save 15%. So also, very, very compelling call to action. What also is great about this email is the pre-header text. Like I was talking about earlier, this is the example I wanted to show you guys. Limited time only, save 15% on dinner time essentials. Use promo code 15WS Dinners. Shop now. So what I would do probably with this subject line or this pre-header is maybe break it up and use the first part as the subject line and the second part use promo code and then the promo code as the pre-header. I wouldn't necessarily put this all into one. You can definitely do that, but it's kind of long and a little distracting. But just a great example. It's probably also a link, so if somebody did click on this pre-header text, then they would probably go to a landing page. Also, this email does a great job of being able to share it on Facebook or Twitter. And there are a lot of links within this email and in this paragraph, just right up front. I'm sure this email is a little bit longer than what we can see here, but all the important information is up there at top. There's plenty of opportunities to click through. You'll see the starter sauces and finishing sauces. That's all underlined, which means it's a link, and it probably takes you to a landing page that talks about starters, it talks about sauces, and it talks about finishing sauces. So it tells you exactly what you're going to get when you get to click on this link.
Yeah, it's a great example. And there are images below there. It's just hard to see them because I cut them off.
And another great thing about this email is that if the images are turned off in an email client, which most images are going to be turned off until a reader decides to tell their Gmail or Yahoo or whatever to turn the images on, they're not going to see the images. What's great about this email is if the images are turned off, you understand what the email is about. You have all the important information, and it's still gives you everything you need to know. Also, the buttons for this email and buttons for any email also make it really easy for people reading your email on mobile devices to click through. If your links are just text links and somebody's reading your email on their mobile device, it's hard to get your finger right in that right spot. So if you give them a big blue button or a big red button to press on, it's definitely a better opportunity that they're going to go to your website. So this is an example from the Vertical Response newsletter. You'll see here that these are the links to our blog posts that we use in our newsletters. Each week we have different blog posts, and we always have the header or the title of the blog post link right to the blog post. We also have the Read More button here, link right to the blog post, and then you're also able to share it on Twitter and Facebook. The button tells the reader exactly what to expect. It's a simple, action-oriented call to action. And yeah, it's very plain and simple, but it works.
So you want to also try to make sure that your recipients have the ability to make every email shareable. This is an easy way for you to spread the word. Your recipients who like you, your advocates, can spread the word about your great event, about a great sale that you're having, whatever information you're trying to get to your current subscriber list can be easily shared by them to their network. So always include a forward to a friend link in your email. It's really easy to add in your email. If you're using any of our editors, so either the Wizard, Canvas, or Freeform, if you click on the drop-down menu that has Insert, Forward to a Friend is right there. So we make it really easy for you to be able to share this with other people. Also, anyone who receives one of these forwarded emails has the opportunity to be added to your mailing list. And since it's being forwarded to them by someone who thinks they're going to be interested in it, that you stand a good chance of getting some additional signups for your mailing list by using the forward to a friend. Also, be sure to share your emails on Facebook and Twitter. So again, we make it easy for you to do that in our system. Once you've sent your email out, if you go into the reporting section, click on the name of the email, there's a link that says share email. And that's going to give you the opportunity to share it with your followers on Twitter or Facebook, or both, whichever you're using. Our system's going to create a short URL. So if you look at the image at the bottom of this slide, there's a hosted archive version of your email that's being created. That's what that link is for. We're going to take that link and then take the subject line from your email and create the post. You can add additional information in here, but it's really easy for you to share this with your followers on Twitter and Facebook. And again, it makes it easy for you to spread the word to people who maybe aren't on your mailing list already. You can also use that archive link if you want to have if you want to host your newsletters on your website. That makes it easy for you to do that as well. And a lot of people like to do that. It kind of gives people a teaser of the sort of newsletters they can expect to get, or it's additional resources on your website.
Also, with sharing your emails, it's a great way to expand the reach of your emails and grow your list. If somebody sees your email on their Facebook or Twitter page come up and they really like your email, they may, just click that little like button, or they may share it with their friends, and their friends might like it. And it's great, just a great way to really, expand the reach of your emails. So we definitely recommend doing that as much as you can.
So here's an example of one of our customers who has in their email 2 places that they're sharing their email with social media. So at the very top, they have share on Facebook or Twitter. At the bottom, you can actually like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. So they make it really easy for people to get to their social media pages. They also have great examples of call to action buttons. So Shop Now is a great one. Shop Zagskins. So there's a lot of examples in here of linking and being able to share your email with your network.
All right, including logos and images in your emails. This is a great way to make your email much more visual and therefore much more engaging. It breaks up the text in your email so that it's all, not so text and it makes it much more visual. Like I said, you definitely want to pay attention to the 80-20 rule of thumb. This is, not a rule. It's a rule, not a law. But you want to have about 80% text and 20% images in your newsletters and emails. You definitely want to include alt text with your images. So when you plug an image in to an email, you'll have the opportunity to give it its alt text. And this is the text that will show up behind your image when images are turned off in your recipient's email inbox. So instead of seeing the images, they will see this alt text. Now, your alt text can be the call to action from your image, share your email today, or buy now, check out this camera, whatever you want it to be. It can be a description of what the image is, the London Bridge, or, Canon camera, or whatever that camera is. So definitely take advantage of that. Take advantage of the alt text and make it something that will maybe encourage your readers to turn the images on. If it's a promo code that you have as an image instead of as a text link, you can say, get your promo code, and they will turn on the images to see your promo code. So like I said, keep your images or keep your emails balanced with text and images. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Link your images, please. I see so many emails go out through our system where the images are not linked, and it makes me cringe. Because when people see an image in an email, they think that if they click on it, it's going to take them somewhere that's going to tell them more about what the image was, talking about or whatever. You just really need to link your images. Please, please, please do that just for me.
Just for you, Megan.
All right, so here's a great example of an email that uses a very good balance of text and images. They are our customer. There's lots of links in this email. All the important information is text so that if images are turned off, the reader can still know exactly what's going on and what the email is about. The only thing I would change about this email is there's really no clear call to action button. They're talking about these tickets here on the right-hand side. And instead of tickets on sale now, I would change that to a link and change it to a button that says get your tickets today or buy tickets today. Something like that that's clear and simple and action-oriented. Otherwise, this is a great email, very, visually engaging, etc.
Use social media in every email. So as we said earlier, social media, excuse me, helps expand your reach to other people, especially people who are not on your mailing list. So make sure you're including that in all of your emails. It also helps increase your social media presence, which will in turn drive more people to come to your website. So it's kind of a circular thing, but it works great. You also want to give your recipients an incentive to click through to your social media pages. Give them some additional information of what they're going to get if they're following you on Twitter, or if they like you on Facebook and they come to your Facebook page. As I said earlier, both of these social media sites are great places where you can engage with your followers. So the people who are interested in your company or who have clicked through from your email to go see what's going on, it's a great place for you to interact with them. You can post questions, you can show new products, you can talk about an event. It's a great place where you could say, if you like us on Facebook, you'll get insider information on new things coming up. So if you have a new event coming up, maybe you want to post it on Facebook and then share it with the people in your email, or vice versa. But give them a reason to come to your Facebook page on a regular basis or to follow you on Twitter. It's also another way for you to grow your list. You can, again, when you post your sent emails on any of the social media sites, Facebook or Twitter, wherever you're posting it, if you include a link to your opt-in form, even people who aren't on your list, or even if they don't go directly to your website to sign up, they can click on that opt-in form link in your email and be added to your mailing list as well. So it's just a great way, again, to expand your reach. And of course, we have some examples. So here is one of our customers who has at the bottom of their email an incentive for people to follow them on social media. So it says, each week you can be a winner. So they're just giving away phone covers. I'm sure that doesn't cost them a whole lot, but that's something that people are interested in if they're receiving their emails, and that's a great reason for them to go to follow them on Twitter or like them on Facebook. I've seen people who, like I said, offer things like new products that are going to be coming out. They put that on their Facebook. They'll pose survey questions. Are you interested in this kind of information? So it's a great way for you to get a little more interactive with your recipients. And here's another example of one of our customers who sent out a specific email to their email list, inviting them to like them on Facebook. And they, again, call out the reason why you should be following them on Facebook and what you're going to get if you do follow them on Facebook. It was a really great email, and it's nice. They say it's our way of supporting you through these stressful times, which is also really nice of them to retain customer loyalty. So again, it's not something that's really hard, but it's something that your recipients will really appreciate.
Okay, so the text backup. The text backup is what's going to show up in case a recipient's email inbox can't handle HTML, or in case they are reading your email on a mobile device that does not read HTML. Most phones, like iPhones, the Droid, I think all those phones mostly read HTML and can handle HTML, but there's still a good chunk of mobile devices out there that do not handle HTML. So you want to make sure that you have a text backup. Now, with that said, Vertical Response makes it very easy for you to include a text backup in your email. This is what will show up when you're creating your email in Wizard or Canvas. You can access the text backup from the email options, and you can uncheck the box to edit the text backup. So we will automatically generate the text backup for you, and you are able to edit the text backup if you uncheck the box, and then you can go in there and type in or change the links or change the format however you want it to look. You can do the same thing in the Canvas and the Freeform tool, just box at the top of the tabs. You'll see up there, same thing, you can uncheck or check the text backup. Let's see. You want your text backup to include links, just like your regular email. You still want to give your readers the opportunity to click through and look at your landing pages or go to your website or make a purchase, whatever you want them to do. You want to make it easy for them to read and find the call to action. So when you're editing your text backup, you can do all this. You can make it look nice and clean and make sure that the links are correct and are clear and easy to find. It also helps delivery to the inbox. This is why we include it automatically when you're sending out an email, so that your delivery rate is high.
And the reason for that is that ISPs actually are looking for a text backup. So sometimes our users like to delete the text version because they don't like it. It's not pretty. But we definitely encourage you to ensure that you have information in your text backup because ISPs are checking for it. At the very least, that would be a good reason for you to include that so your recipients get it in their inbox. But also all these other reasons are important to ensure that you have a text backup.
So here's an example of what a text backup looks like. And this, obviously, the person that created this text backup went in and they kind of cleaned it up. They took out any weird characters. They made sure that the links were easy to find. They had clear call to actions. Tickets on sale now is, very clean and simple, so that it's easy to know how much the tickets cost and what they're for.
And the text is broken up into really small paragraphs. There's good spacing so that it's easy to read. It isn't one big block of text. And as Megan said, the links are really easy to find. The call to action is right there. Go buy your tickets. Very easy.
Yes. So testing your emails. You should always be doing this, and definitely do it in 2011. Testing your emails is really easy to do, and it can give you a lot of insight as to what's effective in your emails and what your recipients really like and what's engaging them. If you're not testing your emails, you're losing out on valuable information about your readers and what they want. The most simple elements to test are your subject line, layout, and copy. You can just do a 50-50 test on your subject line, split your list into two separate lists, and test two different subject lines, and you can find out very quickly and easily what subject line works best. You can also test the day of the week for your email, or how often you're sending it, the time of day. Maybe test sending half your list on a Tuesday and the other half your list on a Thursday, and check out your open rates and your click-through rates, and really decide when people wanted to engage with your emails. Let's see, your click-through rate and conversions. This can be tested simply by your call to action button, the placement of your call to action button, what your call to action button says. So test all of that. Obviously you can't test everything at once, and we actually do have a webinar next week on Thursday that's all about testing your emails. It's at 10 a.m., so if you want to know more about testing your emails, definitely come to that. But yeah, like I said, you cannot test everything at once. You want to pick a few things, decide what you really want to improve on in your emails, and go from there.
So, mobile devices. Over 90% of the people in the U.S. are using mobile phones. I don't know if you guys knew that statistic or not. That's a pretty big chunk of people. So you can imagine that more and more of your customers or prospects or the people who are receiving your emails are accessing their emails in some kind of a mobile device. So what does this mean for you? As we said earlier, we'll talk a little bit about what you need to do for mobile devices. And part of what we talked about already is going to help you for how your email is going to look on a mobile device. So as Megan just mentioned, text backup is a must. It's so important to have a text backup, not only for the recipients that you have on your list who maybe have an older email client or who maybe work in a financial institution and they only get text versions of the emails, but because a lot of mobile devices only get the text version of the email, make sure your text is a good one and the links are easy to see. You don't want a really wide email for the graphical version of your email because, as you know, or probably know, the screen is quite small on a mobile device. So you want to keep your email fairly slim, and you don't want to use really big images. Big images are hard to download, for one, even if you're not looking at it on a mobile phone. But also, they have a tendency to push out the width of an email. So keep your images relatively small. So I would say if it's the image is within the body of your email, you want it to be around 200 or 250 pixels wide. That will still give you the ability to wrap wrap text around your image without pushing out the width of your image too much. Good branding is important, and by this I mean you need to have a logo in your email, and generally you want to have that at the top. The reason for that is if somebody's clicking on your email on that very small screen, you want to make sure that when your email is in front of them, they know that they're looking at the right email. So make sure your email is branded well. Again, a small logo in the top of the email is really important for your mobile recipients. Use buttons for links. Megan touched on this when we were talking about the call to action buttons. Again, if you have an email with lots of links in it, that's great when you're looking at it in an email program or on your computer. When you're looking at it on a cell phone, it's harder to hit the link just right. So if you want your recipients to go to your website and buy something, give them a big button to click on. As Megan said, sometimes she has a hard time and she has slim girl fingers. Imagine if it was a guy trying to, it's really hard for people to be able to click on those links. So just keep that in mind that some of your recipients are going to need a big button in there. Also include a link to view the email in a browser. That will also help with your mobile devices. Also including the pre-header text. In the mobile phone, the inbox, you can see the pre-header text, again, depending on the email client. But where it comes in even more importantly for mobile devices is once they've opened the email, because that's going to be the first line of text that they see, and it's a lot more clear on a phone than it might even be for the people receiving the email on a computer. So your pre-header text is going to be even more important for the people who are viewing your email on a mobile device. So hopefully all the things that we touched on today will help you with your email marketing, and it'll also help you with your emails looking good on a mobile device. So as I said earlier, we have some resources for you. And like I said, we'll start taking some questions in a few minutes, but we're going to go over the resources a little bit. We do have the VR Marketing Lounge. If you haven't checked out the Marketing Lounge yet, make that part of your 2011 resolution. It's a great place to get information. We post information in there. Plus, it's where people who are using our system go and talk about email marketing or talk about tricks they've learned for creating emails or things that they've discovered. It's just an open forum. You can go in there. There's different areas that you can go and have a discussion. It's free. It's part of your account, so you should go check it out. There's lots of great resources in the Marketing Lounge. Also, the help site, another great resource to get you going. If you're trying to add a link to your email after we've emphasized it so much today, and you don't know how to do it, our help site is there for you. There are short videos to help you with that, with just about anything that you need to do. They're all about 2 minutes or less, so it's really easy for you to get quick information there. There's also text tutorials, so if you want to read instead of watch a little video, you can do that. Our blog has lots of great information. As Megan said earlier, we have a couple posts a week usually, and there's all kinds of information on email marketing, on marketing in general, and some really specific things like how to grow your mailing list and things like that. So I would definitely recommend that you go there, another great resource for you. We also have a guides page, and this guides page, actually most of these links will be included in our follow-up email that we're going to send out. The follow-up email will have a link to our guides page where we have all kinds of marketing guides to help you with your email marketing. These are 3 of the guides that I would recommend that would go with this particular webinar. So we have one called Testing 1, 2, 3, which will help you with the testing for your email. We also have one called Integrating Social Media and Email. It's a checklist to help make sure you're including the information that you need to include for your social media sites in your emails. And then there's also one called 10 Email Creation Tips, which will give you some specific instructions on how to work with your text version, how to set up alt text, a couple of the things that we touched on today. And this is, again, the buttons resources. This is a question we get a lot whenever we talk about the call to action button, so I'm including this again. The top one is actually to a blog post from last year, and we have some buttons already made for you there. So there's a button that says read more, and I think there's one that says click here. There's a couple buttons, and you can just take a screenshot and use those in your emails. Or as we mentioned earlier on the call to action buttons slide, there is a website called performable.com where you can go and create your own buttons and use those in your emails as well.